Guys, what's up? And tonight we're going to be doing Chapter 5, Lesson 6, and the OET Pretest 1. First, I want to get the lesson out of the way. Lesson 6 and Chapter 5. And then we will be doing, then we're going to go over Chapter 1 and do the OET Pretest. It's going to be interesting tonight. Hold on, elevator test then.
Guess what? You know, like whenever you do the chapter stuff and lesson stuff?
Yeah.
You kind of inspired me because now I'm doing one lesson thing of a Google Slide presentation. I do live streams every night about them. It's about hand dryers, but I'm going to do it tonight because I was having too much fun to work.
Oh, okay. That's nice. That's a great thing to do. Is Jonathan on here?
Maybe I can do it tomorrow.
Is Jonathan on here?
No, he's not.
Well, let me message him here really quick.
I might get some elevator parts off of eBay though.
Yes, sir.
If I can.
Yeah, well, that's nice. Yeah. 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 Right. Okay, well, I'm sorry to make things up, but I think we really need to get started here. Okay. All right, guys, so elevator sitting. Managing young elevators when they are just newborns, like this one right here. Now listen, we're not going to be talking about the Best Western for a while, but when we get to it, well, you're going to already learn now. You're already going to learn how these elevators are managed when they're just newborns. And this is lesson 6 of chapter 5. Okay, so managing young kids when they're just newborns is a really big responsibility for you and for elevators. Now, when you were just a newborn, your parents probably had a big responsibility, and that was one of the most important things was taking care of you when you were just a newborn. Okay?
So she had to take care of him and come back at the end of the tour. She's back. Yeah. She didn't look at my Insta channel, but she was busy because she really had to take care of her baby.
Yeah. Well, taking care of an elevator is a really big responsibility as well. How is it managing young elevators, though, such as newborn ones? Here are some things you might want to ask yourself. How hard is it to manage newborn elevators? Is it a lot of work? Is it tiring? Is it boring? Well, let's see here. The new versus the old. Born on 12/22/2004, age 13 years ago, the OR cars sit as the newest cars at East Ohio Regional Hospital. We know that these elevators will be teenagers in December of 2017 this year. But when these elevators were just newborns 13 years ago, well, you'd think it was hard taking care of West 3 down the hallway. You know, the West car family we talked about last Saturday? You'd think it was hard taking care of that elevator. But you know what? When it came to the OR cars, it was even harder than you thought. And the reason why it wasn't hard to take care of the West 3 car because there was only one elevator, but the OR cars there were 2 elevators. Now here's a really thing here. Okay?
Just to let you know, you are allowed to open up a business company of what you want to have this company. You can open out an MBA, so you can probably open one right now. Like, no, I'm gonna do a hand drawing company.
Well, that's nice. We'll go ahead and do that. Well, anyways, when it came to babysit, okay.
I would like to babysit elevators. That sounds fun.
Oh yeah. Well, when it came to babysitting these two OR cars, when it came to babysitting these two OR cars, about um 13 years ago, um the West cars 1 and 2 would always go out to dinner on Friday or Saturday nights, and while they were gone, either one of the older cars, such as the North one, Central one, East one, MO 1 or 2, 80, long term of the West car monster, had a babysit West free in the OR cars. So, babysitting one baby was enough for any of these cars listed below. But taking care of free babies was a real big free elevator babies was a really big responsibility. You know how hard it was to manage these free babies? Well, when one of the cars, please hold that for later.
Must eat these. And I want you to drink all of this grape juice because I do not want you to get sick. Oh my golly. I've been alcohol and this doorknob. I don't even want to touch the doorknobs.
Hmm.
I've been alcoholing them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was strange. Anyways, okay, now listen. Here's the thing. Babysitting the West 3 car wasn't as much work. But when one of the older cars had to babysit the West 3 and the OR cars on Friday or Saturday nights, it was a lot of work. And I'm going to tell you all about how it was, about how hard it was to take care of all 3 of these elevators. And this was like 13 years ago. Okay? So let's find out how hard it was to take care of all 3 of these elevators. Some of the things that they had to do were feed the babies with white oil, put them to sleep, and worst of all, keeping eye on them the whole time they were babysitting them. This means that the babysitter would not be able to use the bathroom, get something to eat, or make phone calls because you never know what might happen to an elevator baby. An elevator baby might break down or might need a buzzer change or something, or fed or something, or that stuff. Like a yeah. Well, you got to keep an eye on them at one time. Now, if there are 2 babysitters, then that'd be different. And one babysitter would be able to do the things listed below, while the other one babysit all 3 elevators. Okay? So, now listen. It wasn't that hard for the Central car, East car, M1 or M2 car, long-term car, the West car monster to babysit West 3 and OR and the R cars. But when it came for the North car, the North car was always busy on Fridays and Saturdays. Okay? Some of the things that made the North car busy on Fridays and Saturdays were cleaning other elevator cabs, including his, doing dishes, cooking dinner for the other elevators that didn't have an oven because all the other elevators, because they were poor, and how Northcar had an oven was because Northcar was made of silver. It was all silver inside, and you got a lot of money for it. And doing laundry, that's a lot of stuff for the Northcar. And what doesn't get me is why doesn't he do it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday? Yeah. But why again does he just? Yeah. Anyways, why can't he just do this? Why can't he just do all this stuff on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday when he knows he has to babysit free elevator babies on Friday or Saturday? It's crazy. Well, obviously, he doesn't have to do it now because they're grown up. He's never going to stop. Anyway, sometimes on Friday or Saturday nights, the North Car would have to go to the elevator supermarket and get oils for himself because he would run out of oils after cooking dinner for so many elevators. I mean, it was hard because North Car had a small vehicle, a really small vehicle. And back then, you know, back then, passenger elevators weren't allowed to have big vehicles. So, anyways, I don't know why, but they are allowed to now. Anyways, only freight elevators were allowed to have big vehicles, and service elevators too. Well, anyways, so passing to this elevator had a small vehicle. It was hard because there were like um only two seats in the back and, and two seats in the front, including the driver's seat and the person who was sitting next to the driver. And the back seats were small, and it was hard to fit three car seats in one small car. These elevator cars, these three elevator cars had big elevator car seats. And and well, um, well, how am I going to put this? Okay, the North car was um the North car really liked Mustangs or Cadillacs. And so he bought one and didn't realize that he'd be going to the supermarket on Friday or Saturday nights with free elevator babies. So it was a big responsibility even in the car because having elevator babies in a small car can be sometimes tricky, including human babies too. But when it comes to elevator babies, oh, it's even harder than having a human baby in the car because you have to pull over so you can change an elevator's bus or get an elevator toy that a baby elevator drops sometimes. For the North car, it was tough because 5 minutes before the North car would get to the elevator supermarket, okay, just 5 minutes before he would get to the supermarket, an elevator baby would always need his bus changed. So the North car had to pull over and find a way to reach into the back seats because there was no door. Because there was no door in the back. Had to find a way to change one of those three elevators bus. Okay. It does seem like it's a lot of work though, because when it comes to taking care of an elevator baby on a small car, um, it's very tricky than it is in a bigger car. How about the supermarket? How hard is it in the supermarket? Let's find out. A normal baby in a supermarket is twice as hard than having a baby at home because of the distances, like mostly a diaper changing area. Now, when it comes to elevator babies, it's even harder than that. You have to find a buzzing changing area. And a majority of the time in elevator supermarkets, the restrooms are private, which means that they are locked. They have a lock on the door and only have one toilet inside, one sink. Yeah, they have one toilet and one sink. And there's usually and there's usually a wait because and there's usually a line because there are elevators that either have elevator babies as well. There are other elevators in the supermarket that may have elevator babies with them. A lot of them do. Or young elevator children who need help when using the restroom. Or a janitor who is cleaning the restroom. There's always a line at an elevator supermarket. Always a line for a restroom at an elevator supermarket. There's so many elevators show up there. It's even harder having an elevator baby out than it is being at home. I don't know how to put it, but if I was that person babysitting those elevators, I'd probably be exhausted. It's the truth. Um. So yeah, and for the North car, an elevator would always need a buzz change, and they would have to wait like 5 or 10 minutes for the restroom. And by the time the wait was over, you like get into the restroom, and another elevator, maybe 10 minutes later, would need its buzz change. So yeah, it was hard for the North car when he went to the supermarket with all those elevator babies, especially when it came to the most one. And the big one is buzz changing. Okay, but I'm not going to talk about that much because we do have some other things to do before we end this live stream here. We're not going to talk about the life of the OR cars from the year of 2005 to 2017 as of now, and then look at pictures of the OR cars. Now, how hard is it to babysit an elevator as it grows up? Let's find out. The year of 2005, at 1 year old, managing these elevator babies was not as hard than it was when they were just born in 2004. It wasn't that hard because these elevator babies learn to pick up things when they dropped them, and they also learn to eat and drink small things too. So they learn to as they dropped, and other small things they drop. These elevator babies like small things, and they like small things to eat as well, eat and drink. And they learned how to eat with a fork and spoon, and learn how to use a straw too when they drank things. So I don't know about a human baby, but an elevator baby, it was pretty easy for them to learn how to have responsibility for themselves by picking up small things like toys or anything else, and eating and drinking small things too. This is part of an elevator's life. As I just said, an elevator usually starts as a bellhop and learn how to take care of themselves step by step at first age. So they learn how to pick up things, small things, because most elevators that are little like small things, eat and drink small things, and they also learn how to You also learn how to um learn how to dress themselves. And like I just said, this is part of an elevator's life. At first stage, an elevator learns how to take care of itself a little bit at a time, step by step. So when they turn another age, they can learn something else, and that'll be another development. At 2 years old, these cars learn how to dress themselves, eat and drink foods, besides um, besides small foods. This is a big kid way. I put away there. There we go. And um, they learned one word, which was up. Every elevator learns the word up when they grow up, when they turn 2. Okay? They may learn some other words as well. They may learn some other words as well, but one word they learn is up. This is a little more of a development for an elevator at 2 years of age. Because if they didn't learn how to dress themselves when they were 1, they learn at the age of 2. They learn how to eat big kid foods, and they even learn one or two words is either up or down. How about third age? Is it more or is it just the same? 2007, at the age of 3, the cars learned a few more words such as up, down, and they even learned their alphabets and floor numbers. And their floor numbers are B, 1, 2, and 3. And of course, we all know our alphabet, but we're not going to do it though, obviously, because we're old enough to know now that it's ABC up to Z, A to Z. So you think this is more of a development at the age of 3 for an elevator? Wait until you find out what happens at the age of 4. Will more happen at the age of 4? Will there be more development for this elevator at the age of 4? Let's find out. By the age of 4, in 2008, the cars learned how to use their manners, how to be polite, use their voice vocabulary, shapes, colors, and sizes, big, small sizes. And to top things off, they went to preschool. And going to preschool is a really big development for not just a kid, but for an elevator as well. An elevator not only learns how to use their manners, use their voice vocab, shapes, colors, or sizes, but they start school at a young age. And that young age is 4. Okay? 4 or 5. Now, when they turn 5, things start to develop on them a little more. Besides them learning how to use their manners, voice vocabulary, shapes, colors, and sizes. They go to kindergarten after they graduate preschool in 2009 at the age of 5. And this is where they achieve more and even learn more life lessons. And okay, some of these life lessons are responsibility, caring. Anyone know another thing that an elevator and a child learns at the age of 5 or 6 when they're in preschool? In kindergarten? The Pledge of Allegiance. You must learn the Pledge of Allegiance when you're in kindergarten. I don't know about preschool, but you have to learn when you get into kindergarten because it's really important for schools to do every morning when you get to school. Whether it's during the morning announcements or You don't have morning announcements. You just stand up and say the pledge. Okay? Now, when an elevator goes to kindergarten, it is a big thing for them because an elevator learns one thing that is most important for itself, and that's responsibility. It's responsible for cleaning up after itself. It's responsible for so many things that we're responsible for, right, Jonathan? So, yeah, it learns responsibility. It learns how to be responsible for its actions, right? It's mostly responsible for its actions. Okay. So, when you ask that question on the test, remember that when an elevator is in kindergarten, an elevator is most likely taught responsibility, which means it is responsible for its actions that it presents. For other people. In this case, for now, it's responsible for the actions that it presents to the kids. Okay, 2010. At 6 years old, the cars graduate kindergarten and go to the very first grade of education, which is first grade. And this is where they learn a lot more than they did in kindergarten. Okay? Some of the things they learn in first grade would be early algebra, such as addition and subtraction. Learn how to read and do other things you would learn as you grow up. Okay? This is more than you learn in kindergarten. And it is a bit more of a development. Because you learn a little bit of what you do, of what you'll be doing when you grow up in your school years. From from preschool to graduation as a senior. So, yeah. 2014. This is when the elevators turn to double digits. Okay? The cars enter 5th grade and learn trickier things you would learn in high school and even more life lessons. Okay? They probably learned more than they did in 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th grade. Okay? Learns a lot more things. A lot more trickier things that you would learn in high school and more life lessons as well, which mostly includes grammar. Grammar is a life lesson for all of us to learn. When an elevator usually turns 10, double digits, an elevator becomes more of a young adult. It manages to take care of itself and younger kids. So when an elevator turns 10, it learns how to take care of itself learns how to take care of younger children, manage younger children. Oh, and it also learns it also learns how to take care of itself. Okay, this year, at the age of 13, the cars will be entering 8th grade and learn big things that you would learn when you enter high school in 9th grade, freshman year, including management. Now, management and responsibility are two big things you need to learn in your life. You need to learn how to be responsible for you and your other surroundings, and you need to learn how to manage other. And you need to learn how to manage certain things, whether they're good or bad. For an elevator, it's mostly bad, but you have to learn how to manage it and make it make it um less less bad. You need to learn how to manage the bad things, find a way to make it good. Um, so when an elevator becomes a teenager, an elevator develops more. It starts to become more of a young adult. So at this point, the elevator turns 13, which is a teen, which means it's now a teenager, and it starts to become more of a young adult. Okay. Because it learns how to be responsible and learns how to manage certain things. Now management is an important thing for an elevator to learn. Because when an elevator grows up, an elevator needs to learn how to be responsible for his or herself. Okay. It needs to learn how to um it needs to learn how to um needs to learn how to um you need to learn how to be left alone when your parents go out. Right? Like stuff like that. That's what being that's what how you manage yourself is you need to learn. Responsibility is basically how an elevator or a person manages himself. So keep that in mind. All right, so there are the pictures. Okay, kind of hard to explain this lesson, but I'm finding a way to explain it. These are really nice cars, actually. There's the outside of them. Now, this one says service elevator staff only. And as you notice here, there's a keypad there. Now, let me ask you guys this. These are the OR cars. Why would there be a keypad for the service elevator staff only if it's an OR car? Well, because maybe it goes to the helipad, or maybe it goes to a really clean area. Okay? So this may be considered the clean elevator. So this is the clean elevator, then this must be the soiled elevator, or in other words, dirty elevator. Okay? If you notice that it's hard to take a picture of an elevator if it has a front and rear door. Jonathan, you there? He'll come back. It has that flat panel with black inner covering. Elevator number 2. Capacity is 28 persons, 5,000 or 5,000 lbs. It's a pretty big capacity. And then there's there's like a Mexican Puerto Rican lantern. So does this seem easier to manage? Does it seem easier to manage an elevator at 4 years old than it is at an age below 4 or 5? I mean, at an age below 4? Or is it easier to manage an elevator at 5 years old than it is at an age below 5? No? It all depends, right? It all depends, okay? Explain. When an elevator is just a newborn baby, what are some of the most important things you need to do in order to help care for that elevator? Oh, you need to give that baby what it really needs, that elevator baby what it really needs, right? Some of the things are white oil, sleep, and bus changing. In 2011 or 2013, what do you think some of the things are or excuse me, what do you think are some of the other developments that the cars made in 2011 or 2013 up to 2013? Well, they probably learned more things when they were in second, third, or fourth grade, right? They probably learned more things and developed a little more. So you guys see now that it is hard to take care of. It was hard to take care of the OR elevators when they were just babies. But there were ways to make it easier and fun. Even when you did have to change a buzzer. um, even for the North car that was busy on Fridays and Saturdays, it was even hard for him to take care of the OR elevators. When he had to babysit them on Fridays or Saturday nights. Well, the West cars 1 and 2 went out to dinner. Okay, I had to take care of free elevator babies. But as long as he did each thing that an elevator baby needs one at a time, it wasn't so bad. You know, if he just took one thing at a time, step by step, it made things easier for the North car, and it wasn't that bad for him at all. I'm pretty sure if you had to babysit an elevator as a person, how hard would it be? Well, it'd be best you don't have to think about it, right? Because for a person, it's even a bigger responsibility for a person to take care of an elevator than just for an actual elevator to take care of an elevator. So there you have it. I know it was hard to explain this lesson, But at least you managed to talk about the art car's life as a newborn to what they are now. Um, so, yeah. Okay, music moments. So going back to the lesson, you probably saw that the North car was the busiest elevator car at this time when the LR cars were just babies more than any of the other cars. Now the M2 car was 11 years old. It didn't have much homework to do and was just a kid in 6th grade. A 6th grader babysitting a newborn elevator wasn't that bad. Because this kid learned how to take responsibility for himself and learn how to be responsible for others and management. So this is a song that goes with the lesson, recorded by Styx, not not Stykes, it's Styx. Styx, and it's not spelled S-T-I-S. Okay, so when this question is on the test next Friday, which we're going to get to the pretest here in a little bit, when it asks you who was the what was the song we used in lesson in chapter 5, lesson 6 by Styx, and you're not going to in chapter 5. I mean, who was the singer that we used in chapter 5, lesson 6? And you're not going to say S-T-I-X. You're going to say S-T-Y-X, okay? And you're not going to say Ariana Grande or anybody else, because then you'll get an F, okay? If you mix those sticks, and you're going to get a C, okay? So it's spelled S-T-Y-X. And this kind of gives you an example of how busy it is, not just to take care of elevator babies, but also how busy any elevator can be. You know, there's too much for an elevator to do. It is either with homework as kids or college students, work, chores, paperwork, laundry, etc. That's so much for an elevator to do. Don't you think, Jonathan? And doing it all at once is a lot of work. Because you may have a lot of homework to do, lots of work to do, chores, paperwork, laundry, that sort of thing. So, from 1981, from the album Nothing Ever Goes as Planned, this is Styx, Time on My Hands. Okay, guys. So that's just a little example of how we summarize this lesson. The example of how we summarize our lessons is going to be through song. And then other times we'll use other places or just plain examples. So that's the music moment for today. We'll do one probably in chapter 6 as well. I'll let you guys know though. Okay, so chapter 5, lesson 6 overview. What have we learned in this lesson? We learned about the life of the OR cars and how hard it was for the North Corps to take really good care of. But responsibility and caring was the most important thing. The main idea of this lesson is management and responsibility of an elevator. Okay? All right, so chapter 6 is going to be over Weird Medical Center. Okay? For this, so go ahead and save this. This is the last lesson in chapter 5. So let's go over chapter 1, lesson 1 really quick. I'm not going to each picture really quick. So the story begins on the 7th floor. The basing of the story is to start. We talked about the Otis elevators that were modernized by Otis in 2005, which are the main ones. We talked about the points, which were your point would start on 7M and then at either point 12 or 4. This meant that your point would end on floor 12 or floor 4. 12 up or 4. 12 up and floor down. Talked about your elevator service. You have some passenger service freight cars throughout the hospital, such as these 5 right here. Which these 2 had the orange walls, and these 3 didn't have the orange walls, and these are the ones that had Adams pictures inside them, and they went to 3. These ones only went 4 to 12. And these ones went from 3 to 12. This was considered the main service bank. Then we learned about how they looked, and we learned that they looked the same in some ways, but they were also different in some ways as well. There are your pictures. The styles and touches, or the styles, how it looks, and the touches are how it feels. Okay. Then we talked about the East cars having the East cars. They have the same traits. They're considered the same as the main service cars. And these cars both share the same traits together, which we're not going to talk about right now. We'll talk about that some other time. There's the East car. 3-speed door, big indicator. 2-speed door in the back. Questions for that. And we talked about accessing the secret levels to a great visit. We learned that the South cars are the newer cars in the hospital. And they serve floors G1 and 2. And talked about the Kaufman building. Cars. There were 2 more. behind me. They're the cabs. And we talked about the Carlisle's Otis and Houghton car. Talked about the differences from this picture from December 3rd to this picture, January 7th, paint job. We talked about the laundry car. And then the overview. That was it. Okay, so so for each pretest that we do, we're only doing lesson 1. We did so far. We did chapters 1 to 5. So we're going to do each chapter. We're going to only do the first lesson. Okay, so this is the OET Pretest 1, okay? And you guys are to have this done by Thursday, okay? I don't care whenever you guys work on it, but it needs to be done by Thursday so you can take the test on Friday. If you don't have it done by Thursday, there's going to be a really serious ABC after the OET test, and it will last the whole day. So you're going to be taking the OET pretest right now. This is the first one, and this is a test over lesson 1 from chapter 1. Some of the most important things you need to know in this pretest is to take your time, don't rush. I don't care how long you work on it or when you work on it, but it needs to be done by Thursday. You need to read each question carefully. You need to restate the question, and you need to give a detailed answer for each question. If you finish early, you will be looking over chapter 2, lesson 1, as you will be taking that test after this one. The OET test, as we know, will be on Friday. Okay. So here are all the. I'm going to read the questions, and then from there you guys can do your answers. Okay. Make sure you guys restate. Make sure you guys give a detailed answer for each of the questions. So where does your journey begin at UPMC Montefiore, and why does it begin there? That's number 1. Number 2, what's the basing? What are the points at UPMC Montefiore? Number 4, what are the differences between car 9 and the main service cars? Explain the differences between the car 9 and the main service cars. How many floors are UPMC Montefiore? In the coffin building, what are the differences and similarities between the 4 passenger cars and the one freight service passenger car? Explain the differences and similarities between the 4 passenger cars and the one freight service passenger car. Number 7, you explain how you feel about the mod on the Carlisle elevator. Number 8, what are the differences and similarities between the Otis and the Houghton and the Carlisle? Carlisle. What's the machinery difference on the Houghton and the Carlisle wing than all the other Houghton cars and on the campus? You'll explain the differences on the Houghton and the Carlisle wing and all the other Houghton cars on the camp and the other Houghton cars on the campus. In total, how many elevators are there at UPMC Montefiore, including the parking garage and coffin medical building? So you guys are going to be asked. So you guys can pause the video as you go along with each of the question. I'm going to leave you guys at it. So make sure you guys let me get Jonathan back on here. So make sure you guys restate and give a detailed answer for each question. Okay? And you're to have it done by Thursday. Done by Thursday, you'll be facing ABC. On Saturday after you take the OET test. So I start now. Just do your best. Make sure they're safe. And give detailed answers for your question. Look over chapter 1, lesson 2. So that way, when you do chapter 1, lesson 2's pretest, you'll be ready to go because you studied it before you took it. Okay? Alright, guys. Alright, guys, I think that's gonna be it for tonight. And make sure you guys I'm going to chime in here really quick. Make sure you guys make sure you guys going. And if you get done with it, then you can look at chapter 1, lesson 2. You can look over all the other ones too. So if you do a pretest, you can so yeah, don't use live students, okay? Because that'd be cheating. Just look over it and then exit out and do your thing, okay? I don't care how long you guys study. As long as you're studying, okay? Studying really hard. Okay? Some time to take. Next pretest, after you take this one, you'll be all ready to go and you'll not do as bad. You may end up with a B or just an A. You never know. After you do that pretest, you'll look over lesson 3. So that way, when it's time to take lesson three's pretest, you'll be all ready. Do lesson 5. Excuse me, chapter 6. Lesson 1, or excuse me, no, chapter 5, lesson 1. For all the other ones, so that you'll be ready for the OET test. Okay. So the more you study, the more you'll get better at something. Trust me. It always not hard, guys. All you got to do is watch the stream. If you don't look at the pictures and the facts, that's fine. And then yeah. I don't have much more to say. So some more the OET test pretest 2. And if you're not ready for it, that's fine. Okay? But I'll just get it ready for you though. After you do get done with chapter 1's pretest. So that's it for tonight. I'll see you all later. Oh.
Remember, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to OET Pretest channel.
Okay, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.